Hello, everybody. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. What I'm showing here is this is a picture of my dad getting married to my first mother-in-law, Ann Callaway, and my brother standing over on the right-hand side. And I got a short write-up on that to explain this, and you're going to find this interesting. This is a picture of my dad getting married to my first mother-in-law, Ann Callaway. I was not invited to the wedding because Ann was calling me crazy when I was a crippled crime victim. My name was smeared to cover up the crimes and murders connected with my home and the underground home in the backyard. The month before the murder attempt, my mom died with still unanswered questions. This left my dad single, and a couple of weeks later, Don Callaway, my first father-in-law, died. This left Ann Callaway single. A few weeks after Don died, I'm ambushed and shot with my phone lines cut in a premeditated murder attempt. And then my dad marries Ann, and they quit talking to me while calling me crazy. That was a couple years later that my dad hooked up with that mother-in-law. Ann and Don Callaway had built my Hobbs home and the one next door to it. I believe there's a tunnel between these two homes, and that home in Hobbs is rigged like this one in Midland and the many others around the nation. I've documented over 50 other homeowners. I believe the one I lived in Hobbs was rigged. My guess is that my family knew that my Hobbs home was rigged, which explains why they turned their back on me after I was shot with burglar alarms going on my attic of this home in Midland. So what that really means is I've had 30 years worth of crimes. I'm going to show you what Ann Callaway wrote me. This is that mother-in-law I'm talking about. It's the grandmother of my son, basically, or it's the mother of my first ex-wife, Tammy. Ann Callaway wrote me and said, "My name is Callaway, and VJ Callaway will not appreciate these accusations that you're throwing around. I advise you, big boy, you better be making some back statements, PDQ. See you, by the way. I didn't want you at my wedding. That is the main reason you were not invited. It was one of the happiest occasions of my life, and I didn't want some malicious, insane person around. See, she's smearing my name to cover up the premeditated murder attempt on my life, along with the other multiple murders that are said to have happened at this house. And so there's my dad, there's my brother on this side, and like I said, Ann Callaway. So what that means is that I now have a son, Josh, with my stepsister. Because when they got married, that turned my ex-wife into my stepsister. So now I have a son with my stepsister. Ain't that Jerry Springer-like, Of course, that was 40 years ago when I married Tammy, and this was all after the fact, but the timing of this is very bizarre, and to stop talking to me and calling me crazy. And back then I didn't have all this evidence I do now. Now I got all kinds of proof showing I wasn't shot in my home. I wasn't shot with my gun. Burglar alarms are burglars are breaking the attic all over the country. There is an underground home in the backyard, many details, etc. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.